Hey peeps, it's Kat.Beanie and welcome back to another Divergence episode. Now, I know I've not been putting out a lot. Well, this video has been a few days coming and I shall tell you why. Obviously, making videos is how I sort of de-stress. It's kind of like my therapy session. Let's just kill these guys real quick because, you know, what's not therapeutic than casual murder? So I've had a weird week. Stuff's been stressful. I'm not gonna lie. Dude, you're getting unalived. This is for a Manchu. You're happy, right? So yeah, stuff has been stressful. So as some of you guys may know, I have colitis that has flared up recently. So I am dealing with that from a health aspect. From my own health aspect. And then on, can't remember if it was Wednesday or Thursday, one of those days, I get a phone call about 7 o'clock at night from my grandmother. Nothing unusual, but she phoned me on her mobile, which is kind of unusual, to say that she had a slip in her closet that morning and she'd been in A&E for over 12 hours already. She told me not to come down to the hospital, that she was fine, everything was okay, but, you know, like, screw that. Like, the little one was in bed. So I went down to the hospital, hung out with her till about 11 o'clock at night, made sure that the doctors got all her medications that she needed to get, because the woman's obviously 80 this year. She's got osteoporosis. She's got cancer. She survived breast cancer only to get lung cancer. But, you know, she's not frail. She's not anything like that. She's a very strong, very independent woman. And obviously stuff like this can throw you through a loop, because if anybody that has had a medical health condition for any length of time will show you, like, the loss of your independence, no matter like what age you are, is devastating. So obviously she went into the hospital. She didn't actually get onto a ward until 3 a.m. the next morning, because the A&E was so backed up. When I got there was still 35 people waiting for beds. Now, this is not a reflection on the staff, because the staff were absolutely fantastic and can't commend them enough. They were really, really good. You could tell they were overrun. The waiting area was absolutely smashed. And because of her low immune system, she was put into obviously a cubicle by herself, whereas if it was a typical person with her thing, she would have had to wait in the corridor. So they were doing everything they could to make her comfortable, to keep her safe, and she's not one to complain. So she just like sucked it up and got on with life, as sometimes you have to do. So I went to see her the next day in the ward that she was in. It wasn't like a proper ward. It was an acute medical unit where sort of patients go between sort of after A&E but before going on to a proper ward, so they can figure out where they need to go. So she was in there for a few days. I went to go see her every day, and I hadn't planned on going to see her on Saturday, because my husband was out that evening, and obviously I've got the kids, and my husband came home. Obviously he'd been out having a drink. It was like his first social event in months, but like he'd only had a couple. So, and the baby was in bed. And then about 7:30 that evening, she she phoned me to say that they were discharging her. Now, I was shocked to hear that because she's obviously an almost 80-year-old woman with lung cancer and currently very limited mobility because she's chucked her back out. They did check to make sure that, her back issues weren't anything to do with the cancer, that it was all just mechanical. But, she's an 80-year-old woman who lives by herself. And it shocked both of us that she was actually getting out. So they let her out with enough meds to do her for the night, with the idea that she would phone the pharmacy yesterday to get her other meds that she needed before she could contact her own doctors on Monday. Which was fine, but for the fact that she called the pharmacy yesterday morning to be told that there was no prescription for her. So I went down to the ward that she had been in, asked them what was going on with prescription. A lovely young nurse, bless his heart, he was also run off his feet, read her chart out and said that she was adamant that she wanted to go home. That's why she was discharged without all the meds. It's like, no, hold on there a minute, Skippy. She was not adamant to go home. She's an 80-year-old woman. She was deferring to the, opinion of her doctor. Her doctor, which I spoke to, that morning when I went to get her prescription, I asked her if she would like to go home, and she said yes. But in my opinion, in the condition that she was in, and given the circumstances that she's an 80-year-old woman with lung cancer and severe mobility issues and in a lot of pain, she should never have been allowed home without a package of care in place to support her, either via social services or elsewhere. It's abhorrent. But anyway, I digress. So our prescription wasn't ready. I spoke to the doctor. The doctor sent a nurse to the pharmacy to get her prescription because it is a controlled substance. I cannot pick it up myself. A medical professional has to pick it up for me so that I can take it to her. So I was there for an hour and a half before I finally got her medication and was able to take that up to her house. Made sure she was able to get around okay by herself, made sure that she had people that can come in and check on her. I've been checking on her regularly, and she's okay now, but obviously it was stressful. And my grandfather, her husband, passed away 6 years ago on the 6th of October. And somewhere in the back of my mind, I was just thinking, please don't let anything happen to her, because I don't think I could have managed that if something had happened to her on the anniversary of his death. He also died from cancer, and it's just... So health-wise, it's been a rough time going, and lots of obviously family issues. I am the only consistent member of my family that stays in contact with her, and it's just been a bit much with everything. The only saving grace is that she's okay. For now, she's on the mend, and she's a tough cookie. But obviously, it's been a lot mentally. And then my son, that same morning when she went into A&E, we were at the sick kids with my son because he had hurt his foot, so we had to get that x-rayed. That was just muscular, so obviously some rest over the weekend and he's good to go. And all these little things, like, they pile up, and sometimes, like, you think you're doing okay until you're not okay. But yeah, it's just been crazy. Right, I am going to eat my breakfast, and then I will come back and finish this in a bit. And I'm back, so let me just finish my lunch real quick. Ta-da! Right, okay, so that's good. Let's continue our terraforming. So, yeah. As I was saying, whole lot of drama this week. So, obviously, son's got my foot, granny's no well, my health isn't great, and like, some friends have been going through a rough time as well. And it's just, everything seems to happen all at once sometimes, doesn't it? It's like, can you not keep the crazy in line for, like, just a minute? So, like, people can, like, catch their breath and, like, catch up with everything that's going on. But don't be daft. That's not the way life works. But it is what it is. Like, you've just got to get on and deal with it. Like, my granny asked me, like, how I'd, like, juggle everything, and obviously the kids and their needs and everything else. Just like, no, you just get on with it, don't you? Obviously, thankfully, I've got a very supportive husband that helps, and not many people have someone else they can rely on like that. So, like, I'm not gonna complain, because, like, I hate when people, like, compare their difficulties to the extent where they're, like, sort of competing with, oh, my bad thing's worse than your bad thing. I'm like, can we just not do that? That's, like, yeah, on a sort of practical level, like, you can't measure grief, you can't measure depression, you can't measure, anxiety and stress and all this sort of stuff that goes on. And different people deal with things differently. Some people, like myself, I take a very practical, matter of fact, like, I am not a very emotional person. I take a, practical, matter of fact look at things, and that sometimes shocks people, because when something horrible does happen, or I'm in the midst of a, crazy scenario, we still need more dirt. Oh, you're killing me. So yeah, when we're in the midst of a crazy scenario, where things are going absolutely nuts, everything's going wrong, blah blah blah. Oftentimes, like, I'm pretty calm and can deal with that. I mean, I'm not going to say all the time. Obviously, some things take me by surprise. Like, when my granddad passed away 6 years ago, like, we knew he had cancer, we knew he was ill, but I didn't know the extent from what I believed. Yes, he had cancer, but it was being handled. It was in control, and he was in hospital one day, and he was getting out the next day. So I'm like, right, well, I won't go and see him in the hospital. I'll go see him the day after, when he's at home, because he'll be more comfortable that way. But he never made it home. He died in the hospital that evening, and obviously I never got to say goodbye. We'd already been up with the kids a few weeks before that happened. like most of his, well, not most of his grandchildren, but me and, my brothers and, their kids at the time. So we've had a few additions to the family since, Eowyn included. So I'm kind of bummed that he never got to meet her. But part of her name is named after my grandmother. So, and people get confused because my grandmother is technically my step grandmother. Like when I try and explain my family tree to people, it gets all sorts of confusing because obviously I've got 2 full-blooded brothers, I've got 2 half-blooded brothers, and then obviously they've got their mum and they've got their other sisters, and then I had, growing up, 2 of my great-grandparents were still alive, and also I had my granny Pat and my granddad, my granddad Bob. He's still going. Unfortunately, he's got dementia. And then I had my granny Annie and her husband. Like her husband has unfortunately passed away when I was pregnant with Eowyn. And my granddad, who's married to my grandmother, the one that died of cancer, he was originally married to my granny Annie. So, and obviously all of this, the divorce and remarriage and all that sort of thing happened like long before I was born. So obviously all I'd ever known was I was like lucky enough to have sort of 3.5 sets of grandparents instead of like a typical 2, and some people don't even get that many. So I had an abundance of grandparents growing up, thankfully. But obviously, like, the more people you love, the more people you lose, and that's just the way of life. People get older, and it's never easy, and like especially when it's unexpected, like, and you don't see it coming. Like with my granddad, obviously we knew he was ill, but we didn't know he was that ill and that he wouldn't be coming home. There was no indication to say that he would not be home the next day. Just as was. I am going to need to go to spawn and recharge my shovel, so let's go do that, and I will time lapse that, and hopefully we'll find somewhere near spawn where I can do more digging. Hello, sir. Can I assist you? Right, so let's fly back to my base, and then where my... Seriously, mate, can you not? Right. Always on the offhand. Drives me nuts. Ugh. Helps if you use a rocket. Right, there we go. So let's go back to base. Okay, peeps, so we got our stuff recharged thanks to Buster and his handy XP farm. So let's see. I mean, go find some more dirt. Oh, look, I found some. Huh. That wasn't that hard. Yeah, we'll get some over here. I'll just like destroy a little mound of dirt or something, but hopefully we don't need that much more. It depends on whether or not I want to place dirt on the other side as well, or if I want to use something else. But we'll see how it goes, because the dirt is kind of killing my soul just now. Like, I took all of Diggins' dirt, so sorry Diggin, if you're... She did say I could have it beforehand. I did ask, and Silly said he had some dirt at his base, but I actually checked, because like when I asked him, I still had like a couple of shulker boxes full of dirt. I did a lot of dirt grinding yesterday, which was actually pretty chill. Like after I'd went and got my granny's meds and stuff and came home, the little one was in bed, so I just sort of like chilled out, grinded some dirt, and yeah, it is what it is. But that's like the great thing about Minecraft, like just doing some like mining or like projects like this where obviously it's like low effort. It just sort of blanks your mind. Like, you don't have to think about things. You're just like working on autopilot. And it's not like working on autopilot in the sense where you're just like managing to get through the day. It's more like just like quiet and easy going, and something that your brain can cope with right now without having to deal with all the onslaught of thoughts and emotions and everything else that you have to do. I think I was said it in one of the other videos. It's like your like silent to-do list. Or stuff like you have to get done like every day, like the washing or the laundry, or obviously getting the kids up and ready for school and taking them to school and taking the little one to nursery and picking them up, and any shopping that you need, and any work that you need to get done, any obviously doctor's appointments that you need to phone, and you know, all this sort of like mental silent load that nobody really thinks or talks about, because obviously it's just so common. Everybody just does it. Sometimes it's good to just like turn that off for a little bit, and I think projects like this help you do that, like especially like creative aspects in anything. But I think that's why a lot of people like love Minecraft, because obviously they create the creativity it takes to like, you can either make really big things or really small things or really complicated redstone, or just like playing survival, just playing creative. It's such a simple game with so many different facets of how you can play, and I think that's one of the things that annoyed a lot of people about the new villager nerfs, because like not only do people not like change, but obviously it's overcomplicating something that didn't need to be complicated. I think everybody would have been happy if they just like moderated what enchantments you could get, or moderated the trades, but keeping the sort of trading system the same as it was before. I think some people think that when you need to change something, you need to change all of that thing, and that's like not the case. Like, just changing a little bit can have a profound impact on what you're doing. It doesn't need to be all or nothing. Right, I guess I'm holding on to these eyeballs and whatnot. You know, some things, like, if you can only manage to wash your dishes today, or if you can only manage to get through the day breathing, like, that's fine. Like, if that's all you can manage today, it's like people say, you have survived 100% of your worst days so far. But that's not always a great quote when someone is feeling like terrible. Like, I know everybody wants to be like, I do this myself. Like, I want to be supportive, and I want to convey that I care and that I'm, wishing people the best. But I am not great with. I'm not great at expressing my own emotional stuff, let alone dealing with someone else's. If you want innuendos or like dark humor or cheesy jokes or stuff like that, then sure, that's grand. I'll sort you out. If you need me to lob a shoe at someone's head, that I can achieve. But I always worry when I'm like trying to be supportive and like, am I saying the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I blah blah blah? Like, what is the thing that I need to say that will make this person feel better, or convey that, oh, congratulations on your new leg, or I'm sorry your cat got declawed, or something like that. But like more serious aspects. I'm just like, it's not that I'm not genuinely like, it's not that I don't genuinely wish that person well, or that I'm not sorry for them, or that it's just I'm just really bad at getting that information across in a concise manner, and then I overthink it, and like, did I say the right thing? Do they think I'm being disingenuous? Do they, stuff like that? And it's just like, I try and think to myself as like, well, if it's someone that knows you, they know what you're like, they're gonna understand that, you mean what you mean. And if it's someone like I don't know very well, I'm just like, well, if they take it as, I'm not being intentionally sincere with what I say, then there's nothing I can do about that. I know I'm being intentional and everything else. It's the concern of, do they know I'm being, and then trying to reassure myself that, yes, it's fine. You don't need to spraff everything to everybody for them to. And then I start talking too much because obviously I'm overthinking it. I'm trying to convey how I feel, and I can't do that in a concise manner, so I end up just talking gibberish. Or going on long speeches of, oh, this has happened to me, and blah, blah, in which some people see as very disrespectful, like when they're telling you, oh, this has happened, this has happened to me. This is what's going on in my life. And sometimes people, in trying to reassure other people that they have been in a similar position, or trying to make them understand, oh, I know how you feel because XYZ has happened to me, they then obviously go on a long tangent of, well, this is what happened in my life, to get the point across that I understand where you're coming from. But then sometimes it's portrayed as, oh, you're not really sympathetic to what I'm going through. You just want to talk about what's happened to you. And yeah, sometimes that is the case. Sometimes people just, want to talk about themselves and their lives and aren't actually actively listening to what the other person is telling them, which is a pretty crappy thing to do. But it's not all the time. Like, sometimes other people just want people to know they can relate to what they're going through. It is what this is a lot. Does someone want to come and bring me like a bunch of dirt? Cause it's killing my soul, people. The soul is dying. The dirt is killing it. I need someone to come and dirt up my life. I need to get down and dirty. Oh god. My sense of humour is terrible. Right, but we're getting there. Right, I don't know if I want to... Where is it? Like this bit on the other side of this bit of water. Obviously, that's all sandy too. So that bit over there is obviously bamboo, and then we've got cherry wood, and then this bit's all been dirtied up. So I don't know what to do with that bit over there. I'm thinking maybe like netherrack. But then we've got these... We've got the little farms over here, like cactus farm, we've got the bamboo farm, we've got the flower farm up there, although that's sorted, that's been grass. So what do I do with this bit over here? Because obviously we've got trees growing here. I actually need to move the trees. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but we've got this space over here. And I don't know what to do with it, so let me know in the comments what you guys think I should do with this space, because I don't really want to deal with any more dirt. So a different, like a change of things would be great. I kind of just want to put cactuses everywhere and be done with it, but it's like, no. And like I said, I was going to terraform a base, and that means the whole of the base. Oh, and I made a sky thing up there, but I'm not going to show you guys that just now. I actually moved the no return cod that Amanchu gave me, so they have their own little habitat up there in the sky, because I also wanted to make a cool ass sky build. I mean, it's not really cool, let's be honest. It's pretty mundane, but I made a thing in the sky, like I said I was gonna. So that's the thing I was doing. Anyway, I am going to pop off just now because I need to get some more work done, and I need to go pick up the tiny offspring from nursery, and then I need to go take my mother to see my granddad in his nursing home. So let's all go. And I didn't get very much sleep last night because the tiny offspring decided as soon as I went to bed it was her time to be awake. Aren't kids great? Anyway, thanks for watching, folks, and I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.